Hey, this is Kirk McDowell with Local Google Rankings. This little video is going to talk, I'm talking to salespeople and or affiliates, and I'm talking to you about the customer profile that we want you to use when bringing on a new client or customer with Local Google Rankings. So I have it right here in a paper format, and we're going to make it available for you to print off. And very shortly, it'll be an online form, so you can bring whatever paper with you on an appointment or have something in front of you when you're talking on the phone. I know for me it's a little easier to work with paper, and then but you'll still need to go to the website and answer the questions on the form. We'll make it as easy as for you as possible. Probably gonna take about 2 or 3 minutes to do that. I have a front page on the form that discusses it. So I want to just this is really a guide to how we want you to interact with our customers, and it's a guide for how to get the correct information to make the whole process smooth for the customer and yourself and me and so forth and so on. So, I'm just going to read it, and I'm going to read each line and then talk about it briefly, perhaps. So, Local Google Rankings customer profile. That's pretty straightforward. This first page is for your eyes only. It's not meant for the eyes of our customers. The form itself, however, you're welcome to show to customers. Have it both ways on the table, whatever, that sort of thing. But this first page is just for you and me. So there's an intention for the profile, and here's the intention. The profile is intended as a guide in your exploratory conversation with your prospective client, and to provide all the necessary information to provide what we need to serve your customer, and to have this conversation be relevant and of value to our customer, to your customer. So we're very interested in having the whole sales process be valuable to the customer. Concise, short, I guess that's the same thing, concise and valuable to the customer. So you're kind of a consultant, okay? I want to distinguish where we want you to be coming from in the conversation, okay? If that sounds a little weird, I apologize, but if you bear with me, I think it'll make very good sense. So the background for this conversation is you're there to uncover what would really make a difference in their business. You're looking with them, like kind of shoulder to shoulder, you're looking with them to see how our services might bring their commitments to reality. Okay, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We don't, we want the flavor of the conversation. We want you to orient yourself to really literally be there for the customer, uncovering what's important to them, what they're dealing with, what they'd like to accomplish, and you're there with them. So it's not an adversarial conversation. You're not trying to get them to agree with anything, say how wonderful we are. You're not trying to do that. You're really just looking with them, given whatever their commitments are, whatever's important to them. Will our services assist them with what's important to them? Okay, so your job is to have yourself 100% there to have that person win in their business. Okay, you are a consultant that is committed to their success, and you're not there to simply close the deal. So, I've been in sales for a very long time. I, sold copiers for many years in the early 80s in New Orleans. I did very well at that. I sold recruiting services and was a headhunter for 12 years, and basically, a lot of selling involved there. I recruited salespeople for companies for 12 years, and then I was a business consultant for a while and stuff. And I would say, typically, salespeople, sales trainers, sales companies always talk about being there for the customer, but when you really look at the conversations that are being had and actions that are being taken, really you can very quickly surmise almost 100% of them are actually there for themselves. Salespeople are there to close the business. You go in, you are proud of being a closer, you're there to close the business. Okay, that's great. We want you to close the business, but we want you to be we want you to orient yourself to be of service to the customer. So it's a little bit of a paradox. I'm suggesting that when you're really there for a customer authentically, and you've really dealt with yourself about your natural tendency to want to be there to close the deal, make money, win, look good, survive, whatever is motivating you, when you really are willing to tell the truth to yourself about that, what becomes available is to let all that go and really be there for your customer. So that's the first part. The second part is when a customer perceives that you're really there for them and you're not there to get them to sign on the dotted line, like you're really there to look with them and see what's important to them and see how our services might support them, and you're thinking creatively and you're being, you're really dealing with what's important to them. Customers will sense that and they'll want to do business with you. You'll be magnetic. People will start working out for themselves what they need to do business with you. And so I'm actually suggesting your closing ratio will go up, but you can't be there to close the deal. You got to be there to be of service, and your closing ratio will go up. So it's a paradigm. The minute you skip the first part of being there for service and just go right to the being there to close the deal, your closing ratio will go down because your customers will resist you because they'll know you're not there for them anymore. So it might be a little philosophical. Hopefully it's not too early in the morning when you're listening to this or watching this, but so I'm really committed that you're there to be of service to the customer, and I'm also committed that your success will increase as a result, and your experience of the sales process, the customer's experience of the sales process, will be greatly enhanced. So that's what I mean by that. You must be clear throughout the whole process and all the interactions with your customer. You must be clear that the only time you're winning is when your customer's winning. We only win when our customers win. I win when you win as a sales rep or an affiliate, and I win when your customer wins. That's the only time I win. Otherwise, I'm not winning. So I'm clear about that. I need you to be clear about that as you're interacting with our customers. Okay. Please have all your conversations, everything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth, have it be concise and relevant to the customer. So there is, obviously some social banter sometimes in a sales call, whether it's on the phone or in person. The customer might initiate that. That's all fine. You want to go with that, let it roll. You want to interact with the customer the way the customer wants to be interacted with. But I want you to default to concise and relevant to what's important to them. So that that would exclude stories about where you grew up and all that kind of stuff. And different salespeople have different styles. I'm not knocking anything, but the flavor that I want coming from local Google rankings is that we're concise and we're relevant. We're paying attention to what's important to them. We're dealing with what's important to them, and I want to develop a reputation for that. So I'd like you to be my partner in causing that. So talking in a conversational manner, not going down a checklist. But really have the conversations. But really have a conversation in which your customer gets that you're there for them. And the answering of the questions that are in the profile are a huge contribution to them, even if they choose not to do business with us. So I'm doing exactly what I'm telling you not to do. Okay, I'm kind of reading down a list, so it's kind of it's not really a conversation. I'm like, of course, you're not really there interacting with me, so that may be part of it. But I actually want you to have a conversation, not go down a checklist. Well, how many years have you been in business? And So that sounds kind of weird and formal, and I want you to be related, conversational, at ease with the questions, at ease with the whole interaction. And the questions, some of them are, just house cleaning, how many years have you been in business, what's your address, that kind of stuff. But many of them will get the customer thinking about their business. And when they're thinking about their business, dealing with these questions, they will see something about their business they hadn't seen before, and you want that. So I want you to understand that the questions are designed to be insightful, to get the customers thinking about their business in a way they hadn't thought about their business, and that's going to be valuable for them. And so there's a couple of reasons for that. One is I only win when my customers win, so I want to bring value, and I'm bringing value through the design of the profile, working through you. Secondly, I want you to understand that these questions will elicit value in the process, and then that will also have you be a consultant. You want the customer to start relating to you as a valuable resource, a valuable consultant, and that's also part of the intention here. So I want you to understand and relate to the questions. Like many of the questions you want to ask them, let the questions sit over there, let them percolate a little bit, and start thinking. So you want that thinking process. So that might mean you ask the question and you don't say anything for a moment, and you let them think, and then you see what happens next, okay? I think you'll be very pleased with that. So your job is to talk about their business and to listen and to take notes and to think. about how we can assist them in accomplishing what's important to them. So I'm probably hitting this over and over again, slightly different ways, but so you can get maybe that I'm really serious about this. Your job is to have them talk about their business. So you're having them talk about their business. You're going to listen. You're going to take notes, and you're going to think. Okay. Sounds obvious, but lots of times in the heat of battle, we can forget some of those steps, especially the listening and the thinking part and all that kind of stuff. So as you ask a question, they start talking about their business. You want to encourage them to talk about their business, and you're listening, taking notes, and thinking. And you're thinking about how we can assist them in what's important to them. This is very simple, easy to forget in the heat of battle, and will make a huge difference for you and our customer. After this step is complete, the next step is to set a phone conversation with me. So initially, this is not going to, eventually there'll be too much activity going on, but initially what's going to happen is you're going to complete all the questions. You're going to let them know that the next step is working with me, and I'll spend half an hour, 45 minutes on the phone with them, talking about their website, looking at various aspects. Again, I'll be talking to them about their business. I'll have their information coming from you, and so I'll be able to have an insightful conversation about their business, and I'm still, listening, taking notes, and thinking about how we can be of service to them. I'll make certain times of the day available where maybe Wednesday from 3 to 4 and Thursday, that kind of thing. I'll make slots of time available so you can tell your customer, Kirk will call you, call Kirk at 4, and then he'll be working with customers between 4 and 6 that day. And so he might need to get back to you in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. The intention there is if I'm working with a customer, I'm going to fully complete that conversation before I move on to the next customer to make sure the first customer is completely served and taken care of. And then when I'm on the phone with your customer, I'm going to complete that conversation, make sure they're served and taken care of. That consultation there, that 30-45 minutes, is really going to be valuable to them. I'm going to look at their website, look at conversion issues and SEO issues, and that's a free consultation. Lots of companies pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars to talk to an expert about how to get their website monetized and making money and being more profitable. So you want to sell that. You want to sell me as an expert, and you want to sell that time they and I spend together as part of what they get. So I talked about how to set an appointment. Don't set an appointment 4 sharp. Set an appointment between 4 and 6 or 4 and 5. We'll work that out in a conversation. If you get stuck, you're welcome to pick up your cell phone and call me. I'll have your phone number with a distinct ring in my phone, so I'll know when one of my sales reps is calling, and so I'll do everything I can to pick up right away. If I don't pick up, I'll call you back as soon as I possibly can. So I'm not promising to be available on immediate notice for every one of your calls, but I will try to be. Okay, so that's the first page. That's the background. That's the intention. You want to make sure you're crystal clear on all of this. I'm going to turn off the video so they're not too long and start it again with the actual questions on the form. Thanks a lot for working with us. Really appreciate it.